All right, we got Gurneet Singh. Some of you guys already watched a lot of his content already. He did a great call for us, literally to start and kick off our year. And also, we just watched the Vera interview that Gurneet did. Last time he came to us, if you guys go back on the YouTube and you can watch it, he talked about work ethic. Talks about what kind of work ethic you should have, how much money you can generate if you have a great work ethic, and why you should work hard in your early 20s and in your early 30s. And today, we're going to welcome Granny to talk about one of the eight great work habits of understanding your opportunity. I think Granny, I'm going to share some numbers because we got some new leaders here today. So I'm going to share some few numbers that I personally know, averaging over 100 grand a week right now on your ICL, just your office, not your overrides. And now you have over eight officers, if I'm right, and then you still have like four assistant managers remaining in house,
That's right.
right? And then, if I'm right, in your office itself, so you and your other two ICLs that ICL owners, you guys are probably flirting around 150 to close to $180,000 a week, all three ICLs
Yes.
together.
Yes.
And some of them are only 22, 23 years old.
24, 25. Yep.
And the last week, I think we were talking about, last call, we were talking about you have 26 properties. And last week,
Yes.
you and I were talking about, and you just said you just bought a villa in Dubai.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure everyone wants to learn about it, and you started in the field. So let's start with understanding the opportunity, Granny. Just walk me through it. How did you understood the opportunity? Is it something that you understood as soon as you got to the business? Walk me through your process.
Yeah, I think, look, see, I'm 36 years old. So when I was kind of growing up, you know, there were a little bit less distractions than what you guys are seeing right now. And we kind of understood. We've kind of been through the culture where cell phones weren't cell phones and, people had to communicate and you had to learn a lot. The issue that we're seeing right now is that you have this generation which is growing up on Instagram and TikTok. And the problem is a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing is there's a lot of good content out there also, but bad thing is majority was very bad. And a lot of us like to believe whatever we see on social media. In my eyes, social media is a big delusion. It's a delusional life. It's not a reality of what paints the picture. And when I was kind of growing up, I kind of understood that. I saw my parents build a great lifestyle working. My dad had 15 sneaker stores and he's working 5 in the morning till 10 at night and he was trying to give his kids the best life possible. Um, for me, I saw that and I was like, that's the type of life I want. But society tells us go to school, get a degree, and get a six-figure job. Well, let me break the news to you. It's 2025, right? The the average graduate salary increased like less than 2% in the last 10 years. The average graduate salary in the United States of America is like $44,000 a year, right? And I'm not saying school's bad, but coming out of debt, thinking people like, oh, get a six-figure job. No, you're not getting six-figure job anymore, right? Even if you get a six-figure job, you do over 100K after taxes is almost nothing. Up in New York, it's like $60,000. Now this is where I need you guys to understand. An average mortgage, an average mortgage right now in America is 3,500 bucks a month. Where I'm living in Jersey, New York, it's around $5,000, $6,000 a month right now if you go try to buy a house. So someone do the math in right now. If someone's paying and $3,500 a month is with a 20% down payment, which a lot of Americans don't have. So if someone's paying an average mortgage of, and I'll do the math for you guys, $4,000 a month, right? What does it come out to? Let's see. $4,000 a month times 12. You're paying $48,000 in just mortgages. That doesn't include a single other expense. And majority of the states outside of the Northeast or the West Coast, people don't get paid the same. So when I looked at the business and I was like, all right, if this is the reality and I'm seeing so many issues across and people like Grenade, I'm just gonna go get a corporate job. Okay, nothing's guaranteed. Do you guys know what's threatening corporate jobs right now? Do you guys know
Yeah.
what's it called? AI. So the corporate world is scared, the technology world is scared, and then we have our business. And our business will never be replaced by any machine or anything because human interaction can't be replaced. Our clients understand that. And when I looked at the opportunity, I was like, all right, so you're telling me that if I get good enough at sales and I can teach and be a good character individual and have great leadership abilities that can drive people through my character, my integrity, my beliefs, my values, and my principles, that I can run an office anywhere in the country and make the same amount of my money anywhere in the country. I was like, I'm down for it. Because any corporate position, it's seniority based. This is the only business where what you put in is what you get out. It's performance based. And when I looked at the amount of people in their 20s making the money that they were making in our business, I was like, I'm not doing anything else because I understood money. I understood the value of it. I understood the value of a lifestyle, which is what many of us don't understand at a young age. A lot of you guys in your 20s, you guys are delusional about the life you're about to live. Well, you won't be delusional when you have kids and mommy and daddy have to work. Then who the hell are taking care of the kids? Well, you're gonna have to put them in daycare. Well, daycare costs $500 to $600 a week. And all the cost of living expenses start to build up. Then one day you're gonna have to look your child in the face and say, hey, well, sorry, mommy and daddy didn't work hard enough for us to afford the things that we can. So sorry we have to do this. We can't put you in the best schools. So is that a conversation you want to have with yourself? I don't know. So when I looked at the opportunity, I was like, all right, you're telling me I work hard, I get to get promoted, I get to make some money. I have an owner in my business right now. In his first year, he did 1.2 million. This year, he pays to do 2.5 million. And he's 24 years old. And just for numbers terms, he's taking home 38 to 35% of that. So you can do the math yourself. So someone says, Grenade, well, I don't want to do sales. I don't want to sell phones. Okay, well then go wear a nice suit, go work in the office and make $50,000 a year. Do you think that nice suit is going to buy you the lifestyle that you want? I don't think so. When we have more six-figure earners right now on this campaign than ever before. So the opportunity, the answer is what you make out of. It's the perspective of what you think it is for you. If you look at this just the AT&T sales job, then that's all you are. But if you look at this as a career and a vehicle for me to get me to where I want to, then that's what you'll become. That's where your attitude will change. You'll be first one in, last one out. You'll be coming in looking the sharpest. You'll be curious every day. You'll be asking more questions. You'll find ways to separate yourself. You'll ask the owner, hey, what do I got to do to get ahead? You won't just be an average rep because you look at your life in a different way. You're aggressive about your potential and your opportunity. You're just not going through the motions. And if you're going through the motions, you're like, Gurney, well, man, you don't understand my situation. No, I don't want to understand your situation. I'm sorry. I don't want to understand it. But in the United States of America, I don't understand it. You guys look nice. You live in a safe area. You clean, you drink water, you eat food 2 times a day. You're fine. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't understand your situation because there's far more people in a worse situation than you are. You're just making excuses and believing every excuse that you're saying to yourself. That's the issue. So yeah, hey Sean, that's my
Bro, I love
answer
it.
to that.
So going back to that, I think I heard you talking about this during Jamie's call. The I think you did a trip to Africa. I don't know if I'm saying the country right, maybe Africa, man. Then you just
Yep.
saw how everything is, and you started doing your fundraising. And you started getting a big community together in New Jersey to help these people out there. Going back to what you just mentioned about most people give excuses in United States and just staying in land of opportunity when people in other countries doesn't even have a lot of things these people have. Give me your perspective on that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we live in a very ungrateful world, especially in this country where our culture is spoiled. We don't really realize what we have in front of us. That's why you see so many immigrants come into this country and they don't speak a lick of English, but they become millionaires before you guys even know, because they're willing to do the things that many people aren't able to do, right? And it's funny talking about my trip to Africa. Until about 7, 8 years ago, I took a trip to Africa. I wanted to stay in a hut with a bunch of kids that I was sponsoring. Guys, there were little kids butt naked with the playing with a dirty water bottle and with the biggest smile on their face. That changed everything for me. Even for now, when I'm feeling my down or I'm not feeling good, that's the first thing I think about. There's a child in Africa that's just playing with dirty water bottle and has a smile on his face. What am I complaining about? When you are in this country, every day you wake up, you have an opportunity to change your life, change your situation, change your direction, change everything that you do. Why aren't you doing it? What is stopping you? If you're not happy, change it. If you feel like you're not deserving anything, change it. You feel like you're broke, you have every opportunity to go work hard and make your life. You feel like you want to do something for your family, then goddamn do it. What are you waiting for? Because eventually, this is a scary thing that I tell everyone. Your children are eventually going to be a reflection of you.
Mm.
Who are you going to become? Who's the person you're going to become? Do you want your children looking up to somebody that's not hardworking, has bad habits, it's not respectful, has anger issues, has character issues? Or do you want your children to look up to somebody that's well established and seen an individual that's worked really, really hard in his life to build something? So, you again, I can't stress this enough. We live in the best country in the world where every day you wake up and you can make your dream come true. That's if you want to, but that takes work. It's not a shortcut. It means waking up 5 in the morning. It means coming home 8, 9 at night. It means that I'll do whatever it takes. Doesn't matter if you have a flat tire, doesn't mean what's happening in their life, because everyone has issues. Nowadays, we get people called out, Gurneet, I need a mental day. What's a mental day? Please tell me, explain to me. I don't get me wrong. I believe in mental health. Mental health is a big thing in our country right now. No, you know what you need? You need to get your ass out of bed and go to work. That's mental for you. Your mental day is sitting at home binge watching Netflix, thinking your problems are going to go away, or just nonstop TikToking your life away while everybody around you and most of the smartest people around you are making money left and right. And for some of you guys, like, well, Granito, money doesn't make me happy. Well, first of all, you never had it. Sorry to say it like that. And number two, yeah, that's true. Money doesn't make you happy, but money gives you choices. Choices make you happy, and that's the difference. So yeah, I have the immigrant mindset, and I work like that every single day. I work like where I don't take my foot off the pedal. I seen my parents work hard for 30 years and build a life, and gave me a life that many people weren't able to live. I want to be able to do the same thing for my family and my kids. But I understand the responsibility that comes with that. The responsibility that comes is that I have to show up 150% every single day. And I did that as a leader also. I showed up as 150% every single day. And that was my main motive. So yeah.
But I'm gonna go back to your field stories. You did not start really hard as a sales rep, but you were one of the best trainers in the game. And I remember Brendan used to tell me this quote every single time. Every top owner has been a great salesperson, but not every great salesperson has been a top rep. Walk me through your stories in the field. Like, how did you understood the opportunity? You were not the top sales guy, but you understood the opportunity, train people, develop people. You care for people. I mean, I still like every time I meet you, like every people around you, you care for them, you love them. Like you are very genuine about like taking care of people. Walk me through that
Yeah.
thought process.
Yeah. I wasn't the best sales guy, but I was a consistent guy.
Hmm.
I was a work ethic guy. I wasn't talented. For me, it didn't come easy. I didn't have a charismatic personality. But you know what I had? I had a great work ethic. I knew how to follow systems. I knew how to work the eight great working habits properly. And I knew that if I did that, my life would be, I knew that if I do that, I can teach people how to follow systems, I can train anybody. So yeah, did I have to work longer to hit 12, $1,300 a week? Yes, I would. But you know what? It taught me systems that are easily to replicate. People who work on talent and personality eventually fail in the business. And even I have some beasts in my office. I have some really, really beasts in the office. But I tell them if if you can't if I but I tell them all the time that if you can't teach systems and you can't teach work ethic and you can't teach numbers properly, then you're no good. So in my office, what I always taught was the law of averages, the C factors. When I trained people, I worked extra harder. I showed up early. I stayed late. I wasn't on my phone. I didn't skip a customer when I pitched somebody. I didn't do any of those stuffs because I know there's a 120% to 80% rule. I know the new starts do 120% of what you do wrong and they do only do 80% of what you do right.
Mm.
So I knew that I needed to be the right example for me to do the right things. That's number one. And guys, look, I faced a lot of shit in the field. I had a love and hate relationship in the field. I hated the field so much that I forcefully fell in love with it. So I never have to go back into it again. I fell in love. I got good at it. So I never have to go back into it again. Right. There were a lot of emotional moments I had in the field. All the times I think about the times now, it's crazy. The other day, Hishan, I was just thinking there were so many moments I had in the field where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I should quit. And now I thank God that I didn't because I would not live the life that I'm living right now, like at all. And I think that's the difference, right? It's like, all right, am I going to allow stupid no's and negativity in the field that I'm never going to see as someone again affect me? And it's a mindset thing. This game is not a skill and ability, it's a mindset thing. It's 99% mindset, 1% skill and ability. So you have to decide for yourself. Like, am I gonna let the field and and the field, I just made it easy. I made it a game. I just followed the process. I didn't overcomplicate it. When you pressure yourself, you get when you pressure yourself, you get less results. When you focus on the result, you get less results. I just focused every single day, 5 to 8 credit checks every single day. Same thing for my guys. That's all we teach them here. So yeah.
Love it. Granted, I'm a new leader. I understand the game. I understand the opportunity. I know what I'm sitting on. I'm having a hard time explaining the new guy about the opportunity. How do I do it?
Are there all leaders in here?
Yeah, all leaders sitting in the room.
Okay. The new guy is going to understand the opportunity. And guys, listen to what I say very carefully. First of all, the new guy is not going to understand the opportunity if your character and the way you are, you're not credible enough. The first thing they're trusting is you and how you perceive the business and how you talk about the business and how it has helped you. That's number one. Number two, you got to learn how to portray your vision to your people. If you're a leader in the room, you got to ask yourself, all right, why am I doing what am I doing? Well, obviously it's to get to ownership and to obviously live the lifestyle that I'm living, X, Y, and Z. Well, if you don't talk about that, the new guy would never understand it. Right. So number one, they're looking at your character, your beliefs, your principles, your values, your intellectuality, how you talk about things, how you look at things, what's your opinion, how you perceive things. So anything that embodies a good role model and a citizen, I teach my guys to talk about that. Number two, what's your vision? Because if you talk about your vision, they're going to ask questions. Well, great. Can this opportunity get me to X, Y, and Z? Of course it can. This is how it's done. So I think it's very important that you guys understand that a lot of this has to do with your guys' presence and enthusiasm. What ends up a lot of times happening, you guys talk about the field 24/7. Well, the field's not going to explain the opportunity. It's part of it. a lot of our conversations with our people are very surface level. So you got to learn how to intellectually be more in depth. And obviously, when you run opportunity meet, what I used to do, little things I used to do, sometimes like second week with a new start, I would run an opportunity meeting with them in the field. I was like, hey man, look, Sean did this many lines yesterday. You know what that means for his revenue? This is how much money he made. This is how much money he took home. This is what our team did. I do it on a smaller scale. This is what our team did. And people are like, wow, we can do that. Yes. But you got to do X, Y, and Z. So a lot of my conversations, Hishan, were very growth driven and on what I want out of life and how this opportunity can help me get there. And then eventually, once they had more skin in the game, they just understood it.
My last question, and after that, I'm gonna open up for the guys. I learned this from Abraham, who was my leader back in Sebastian's office and doing sales. Touch their heart before you shake their hand. That's one of the quotes that I learned when I was an entry level. You are really good at this. Anyone who talks to you, they always feel like Granite is touching my heart and he does not get anything in return from these conversations. Why do you think you're so good at it?
Um, and here's the truthful answer. I care about people and I care about their lives. And my dad's a big he's a big inspiration to me. And my dad told me this a few years ago when I had a conversation with him about something. And he was like, Gurneet, God's put you in this earth to have a responsibility to take care of people and put them in the best position. But what you have to do is not to expect anything back in return. And the day I understood that hey, I'm going to give in the universe, and as long as I have zero expectations, I felt free. Because what happens is that when you give and you don't get nothing in return, your expectations get disappointed, and then those feelings trigger you to not to act the same way.
Mm.
Well, the truthful part about this is that me being kind and caring about people has also gotten me the success that I've gotten throughout these years. So there's a good and there's a bad, but I realize in our industry, people have to feel you. People have to understand that you care. And that started for me as a leader, right? People need to understand that, hey, like I'm here for you. I'm in this situation with you. I'm going to help you. I care about your goals. I care about your family. There's an emotional bank balance within me and my people. So when I don't show up to work and I don't give my 150%, I feel guilty. And I felt that when I was in your guys' position as a leader. That's why I never used to take days off. That's why I made sure I made those extra calls. I followed up. I was with my people at all times because I goddamn care. This is the people helping people business, right? For me, that's what matters most is how do I put my people in the best situation possible for them to win? So you got to ask yourself, am I, you got to ask yourself that question. Do I care about people? Do I see myself as a great leader? And leadership is not about giving orders. Leadership is an obligation to serve your people. For me, that's leadership. So, yeah, you know why did I touched their heart right from the get-go because I'm genuine about who I am. And that's hard to find these days because everyone has a very selfish way of looking at things these days. It's about me versus it's about you trying to get better than everybody else. It's about us criticizing each other. There's no kindness. There's always some bull crap. No. One of the biggest things I learned in life, be the bigger person, be kind, put it out in the universe. Somehow, some way, the universe finds it back to you. And as long as you guys do that, trust me, you guys will feel so much better about yourself. So yeah.
Love it. Granted, I'm going to open up some questions for the guys. So let me spotlight them so we can see all the beautiful faces. Anyone has questions, raise your hand up. I'm still teaching people how to ask questions, so they're still learning. All right. So doesn't okay. Go ahead, Remy.
Yeah. So what would you say was the most important aspect of training that you gave to somebody for growth purposes? If while noticing like they weren't if they weren't catching on, what was the most important thing that you would stress to them?
Hey Sean, I didn't hear that at all.
Remy, you might have to come close to the TV. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. What was the most important aspect you would push on to an entry level who you noticed just wasn't getting the game or just not understanding? What was the biggest thing you would teach them?
Hey Sean, did you get that?
Yeah, the biggest piece that an entry level can get, what aspects that they can get on training.
Okay, if you're an entry level right now, so you're basically asking for advice, what's the biggest thing an entry level can do?
What's the biggest thing a leader can do to give that entry level that push that
Oh, okay, great question. All right, so the push starts from trust. How do you build trust? You build trust by having an emotional bank account. How do you build an emotional bank account? By having a relationship. So one of the biggest things I tell people right from the get-go is that you must be able to build a relationship in their first 2 weeks because the biggest thing that they're going to trust is you. And the biggest thing that when they trust you, then you can coach them. You can find ways to drive them. What ends up happening a lot of times, we don't talk about our lives a lot with these people, which you should, because 99% of the times, the way to drive your people is to know their situation. If you don't know their situation, then you can't really drive people. You understand? So, like, there's a big emphasis in relationship building in my office with new starts all the time. We know everything about them. We know everything about their life. We know everything about like what bothers them, what doesn't bother them, like their financial situation, their break even. You as a leader, it's your responsibility to remind them of those things. So I would say create a relationship, build the emotional bank balance with them. The only way you build a bank balance with them is that once you get to know them. If you don't get to know them, then you can't really push them. And that surface, and it can't be surface level. You have to dig deep, right? And the only way they'll dig deep is if you dig deep. So yeah.
thank you.
What if like so off of that right there, can you hear me?
You have to come a little bit closer to the TV, brother.
Can you hear me?
Perfect.
All right, so like off of that, right? So like say the entry or a leader, like they don't really accept it. Like how do you go about it then? Like
You're
if they
talking
like
about how they don't accept the coaching.
yeah, like I don't coach, but like they're not like so me for instance, right? Like for the longest I was like in my own way, like I really didn't like reach out, I wasn't vulnerable. So how do you like get to that point with them where they could trust you?
Hey, Sean, I didn't get that. I'm sorry. So loud in my office.
Yeah, you're good. Just to make sure I get the question right to DJ, are you asking about how the entry level trust you on your coaching?
Yeah, or like how so like how based off the question he just answered, like how could you the entry level they accept that and like actually want that coach and want to like reach out and stuff? Like what if they don't want like what if they don't do that? How do you go about it then? If you did like a lot of stuff.
Okay, so you're coaching them, you're teaching them, but they're still not getting it.
Yeah,
How do you go about it when they're still not getting it?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So if you feel like you're putting in a lot of effort and they're still not getting it,
Yeah.
all right. Are they putting a valid effort in?
Yeah. I mean it's like yeah.
All right. Okay, and you felt like you gave it your 150%?
In a sense, but they're not like accepting it. They're not like taking it or they're not
They
like
don't
being
they're not a good student. They don't have a good student mentality.
well they're just not being vulnerable in a sense where like they don't like want to like open up.
What's the last thing you said?
They don't want to open up.
Oh, when they're very closed off and they don't want to open up.
Yeah.
All right, watch this. So I'll tell you a funny story. So when I was coming through the field, I had a rep. in my office, in my team, that I couldn't find a way to open up to at all. So one day I just asked him, I'm like, hey man, what do you like to do for fun? And he's like, bro, I play this game called Dungeons and Dragons. I was like, what the hell is that? Dungeons and Dragons? I was like, I don't even know what the hell is this. This is like 11 years ago. And I'm like, hey man, like, and I'm doing everything to open and talk to this guy, and like, he gives you one word answers, mad, very dry. So I was like, you know what? Hey, can I ask you a question? I would love to play this game with you. Can I just come over to your house and play this game? And I went over to his house and I started playing this game, Dungeons and Dragons. Wow, this guy was a different human being playing a fucking video game. Excuse my language. He was like opening up, he was laughing, he was this. And then, you know me, I mean, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just pressing buttons and whatever just to make it seem like I'm playing the game every time. And he started to open up and he started to tell me about his life and he started to go over everything with me. And I used to do it. Here's the crazy part. I did that when I started to do this. I did it for 2 months straight and I did it once a week for an hour. I went to his house to play video games. Well, that me playing with that video game made me help him, coach him, and open up. And he was $1,000+ earner every single week. And at that time, that was a lot of money. And he did it. So what I would do in that situation is try to find something that will really relate to him and work with him, and maybe go out, do something, do an activity that he likes. Maybe that will have him open up. Sometimes the closed off people, you have to do that. They're not that easy to just open up to and talk to. So yeah.
Perfect, Granny. Thank you so much, brother. That was great call. A lot of value. I know we are a little bit over time, so thank you for.
No, I'm good. Thank you guys. And guys, let's go crush it. The opportunity is not better. It's was so much better right now, guys. Go take advantage of it. Don't take your foot off the pedal. I want to see you guys have a record-breaking week and a record-breaking day. Let's go fucking crush it, guys. Take care, guys.
All right.
All
Thank you,
right.
brother. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.